Welcome to Screw the Commute, the entrepreneurial podcast dedicated to getting you out of the car and into the money. With your host, lifelong entrepreneur and multimillionaire, Tom Antion.
Hey everybody, it's Tom here with episode 453 of Screw the Commute podcast. I'm here with Paul Ace, and he's going to tell you his method to grow your business past seven figures. So buckle up. He'll be on in a minute. So episode 452, that was Maxwell Ivy. He's the blind blogger, and he is totally blind, not from birth, but very young boy. He started going blind. He's totally blind, but it's not stopped him from being a publicity expert. And he'll help you get on podcasts, and he's just quite an inspirational story. He sings too. I think he went out for America's Got Talent or something. Hey, if you like money, which you probably do if you're listening to this show, I'd be glad to send you a lot of it for referrals. We have a great referral and affiliate program. The commissions can go anywhere from $8.50 to more than $5,000 just for one referral. Check it out. You can email me at tom@screwthecommute.com if you want more details. Now, pick up a copy of our podcast app while you're over at screwthecommute.com. That's screwthecommute.com/app. That's APP. And you can put us on your cell phone, tablet. It has all kinds of cool features. You can take us with you on the road. And while you're there, pick up another super duper thing we give away for listening to the show. It's my automation ebook. Just one of the tips in this book has saved me 7.5 million keystrokes, and that's not an exaggeration. We actually estimated it. And it's got all kinds of tips on cell phone automation and things that are cheap and free that just make you go lightning fast so you can steal customers ethically from schmucks that won't get back to people in a hurry. It cracks me up. I hear voicemails that say, yeah, we'll get back to you within 48 hours. I'm like, I could be dead within 48 hours, you jerk. You got to take care of customers. So pick that up at screwthecommute.com/automate free, screwthecommute.com/automate free. And I usually tell you about my school, but I'm going to tell you about something way bigger than my school right now. And it has to do with my school, is the program we're right in the middle of to train 5 people or persons with disabilities in my school. So not only can they learn from home without all the burdens they suffer when they have to go somewhere, and they can legitimately be hired from home or start their own business or both. So we're doing a GoFundMe thing. Please support it, just even if a couple bucks. But some people are throwing in thousands, whatever you're comfortable with, and you can be anonymous if you want. But we're going to put these people through the program and going to do a job service for them to get them hired or assist them in starting their own business. So check the show notes for the GoFundMe account, although you can find it at imtcva.org/disabilities. All right, let's get to the main event. Paul Ace is here, and he is popularizing the concept of CCOM, and I'm not going to pretend to explain it. I'm going to let him explain it to you. But it's the science of conversion and conversation and automation all put together. He founded Amplify CCOM, which helps grow businesses past 7 figures through 80%, listen to this, human-like. I've met a lot of people that were, I don't know, maybe kind of human, but maybe not. I don't see what he means by that. And 20% human experience. Now, Amplify combines human psychology and automation to create more products in their customers' pockets. So, Paul, are you ready to screw the commute?
Certainly am, Tom.
Good to talk to you, man. So explain this CCOM concept to me, because I want to make sure that everybody gets it from the horse's mouth, not from me trying to tell them what you're doing.
Yeah, sure. So CCOM is all about conversational commerce. So you may have noticed over the last few years, people want this personalized service, but they also want instant answers, right? Because we've grown up in this world of, I certainly grew up in this world of social media, right? So
right. He had to say that because he knows I'm an old fart that didn't.
so if you think about it, like we're always looking for these dopamine hits all the time, all the time, all the time. So what happens is over time, those expectations get higher and higher, but people still want to feel like people. They don't want to feel like they're just another number. So we look at how do we use conversational commerce. So how do we automate the first part of the communication that feels, and as we say, human-like, and I'm not talking about like something out of the Terminator or something like that. We're talking about like, how would I naturally have a conversation with someone? Now,
Are we talking about chatbots?
So, and it's beyond chatbots, you know, like messenger and things like that is a piece of it. So it's like this omni-channel approach. So we're talking messenger, we're talking SMS, emails, even direct mail, personal video messaging, voicemail drops, like anything where you can have a communication platform, but then it's treating it like you were having a conversation rather than, you know, you probably had one of those spammy text messages where it's like, hey, get 50% off today.
Yeah, sure.
Click here, right? There's loads of people use SMS for that. Or it's just like alert. And we believe using SMS or Messenger or whatever it is, or even email, is it should be conversational. So if I'm going to reach out to you with an abandoned cart message, for example, instead of just going, hey, you left things in your cart.
You big dummy.
It's like, well, yeah. It's like more of a, hey, it's Paul from Amplify CCOM. Just wanted to reach out to see if something went wrong or something broke. I noticed you didn't finish the order off. Can you just let me know ASAP and I'll get it fixed?
Yeah, nice.
Right? It's so casual, and that email gets about a 20% response rate. So we use that, and we also use it on SMS. But the great thing about that is then people tell you all the reasons they didn't buy on that first message. so then what you do is then go, well, let's take that conversation and turn that into more back-end emails. So then we can answer all those objections with extra emails. We can answer them over potential SMS messages that say, hey, I've just sent you a really important email, or hey, I've just sent people were asking questions about this week, just dropped you an email over with it, right? So bridging the gap to the next stage. Or you could even record videos and send people through that for retargeting on Facebook or YouTube. So you actually find out exactly the language that people are using, and then you can parrot that back to them and match and mirror what they're using. So it naturally then takes people to the next stage of the buying journey because they feel understood. To first, if you want to be understood, you need to first seek to understand, and that's how we apply that to conversational commerce.
Now, did you invent software for this, or are you just teaching people how to use off-the-shelf stuff?
So we're more about like building the systems and processes and leveraging existing technology, but also going, how far can we take that technology, right?
Yeah.
It's like, well, what else could we do with it? So for example, even last week, we were setting up we've got some people who have gone through a challenge, and because they'd already paid for the challenge and they bought the evergreen, and we're doing a new live one. So we didn't want to charge for it again. We said, you get a free pass. But it was like, well, how can we make it a great experience? So we said, well, go ahead, click this button. It'll open up Messenger. And then it says, right, claim your free pass. As soon as they claimed the free pass, it created a personalized image with a ticket with their name on the ticket and then their own ticket ID.
Right.
And we automated that process. But now and then what we did is 10 minutes later, it was like, hey, thanks for downloading the ticket. Would you like to win some great prizes as well? And then we created this viral giveaway off the back of that got them to go and share it with the friends, and then show us a screenshot that they'd done it in Messenger, completely automated. And then we're getting like, you know, in the first couple of hours, it's like 16 different people had shared it. So then you're starting to build that organic sharing viral content at the same time as actually building conversation and rapport and meeting people where they're at in the buyer journey.
Yeah, it's beautifully targeted stuff, and I love the part about you said that people aren't a number, because I heard this joke from this bank. It says, we don't treat our customers like numbers. We throw in some letters and symbols too to make it better. So,
I like it.
Now, so let's get back to that later, but I'm still dying about this 75-day challenge you took. Are you literally crazy? Are you in therapy because of this, or how did?
Well, so I just when we're talking about a 75-day challenge, I'm not sure where the 75 comes from.
Well, I thought it
Uh,
was a long challenge that you personally took.
oh no, so we've done a lot of challenges for clients, and so quite often it's not a 75, it's usually a 7-day.
Oh,
Maybe
okay. I was wondering.
may,
70 days.
maybe there was a typo there, right?
Yeah, I was thinking, wow, that's a long challenge there. So 7-day challenge. So tell them about those.
Yeah, so we we had a client come to us recently, and they said, "Hey, we've been doing these live challenges. They've been doing pretty well, but we want to automate it. We want to make it evergreen, but we also don't want to lose that connection with the audience, right? Because what happens sometimes when you make things evergreen, you lose all that human touch. So we looked at it and said, what can we do to create a human-like customer experience at the same time as like making sure that the sales are still there and it's still profitable. So we looked and was like, what do we need? We need to create touch points at each stage of the journey. So we take each day of the challenge and they get a text message each day of the challenge, not like a alert next day is live. It's like it'd be like, hey Tom, today we're going to be discussing this. Excited for you to check it out. Here's a link. Right, so a little bit
Hmm.
more conversational there, and then on top of that, we'd also add in voicemail drops. So each day of the challenge, they get a message from the owner to say, "Hey, just wanted to let you know this is what's cracking off today, and really excited for you to jump into it." So they're going through this 7-day challenge, and at the same time, we also use deadline funnels. For anyone who's not aware, it basically creates deadlines that stops things and ends things depending on what times you choose. So you can say, okay, after 3 days, that offer will no longer be available. Because I don't believe in these fake scarcity where someone
Right.
says it's ending and it's not. I can't stand that.
Yeah.
So we will use deadline funnels where it is real scarcity. They can't get back in it because you won't be able to see it. So we said you'll have access to the videos for 14 days. So we'll give you 7 days to catch up afterwards, right? If you're a little bit behind, but after those 14 days, that's it. Your access will disappear. So it created a natural challenge
Hmm.
with this accountability and integration. And at the same time, then we're saying, hey, on each day of the challenge, write your quick win for today. And then you want to post that in the Facebook community with the hashtag whatever the day is to guide. So then everyone starts to post in there every day going, oh, I'm on day number 1, I'm on day number 2, and starts to build even more community. And there's already like over 10,000 people in that group.
Hmm.
So it just starts to cement. And as you start building it up, and we've taken that from 0 to over $100,000 a month within, we did that in the first 8 weeks. So it's just a case of scaling that up. And here's the great thing about it. It doesn't stop you then going to do a live challenge after that. So then
Hmm.
you've just built this massive lead list, and everyone that you maybe they bought the evergreen challenge but didn't go and buy the high ticket product afterwards. We can say, hey, come and run through this challenge again on the live version, and then offer that to them again at the end. So then you end up picking up a lot more sales than you usually would.
All right. Now, one thing that I heard you say a minute ago was about the voicemail you send. Now, I've done some voicemail marketing, but I had to change it in that it was ringing the person's phone, but now the technology is available to where it goes straight to voicemail. Because I had a guy complain, says, I was just getting on a plane and your promotion, interrupted me and stuff like that. So are you using direct to voicemail, or are you still letting the phone ring?
Yeah, so quite often it does, and it seems to depend on the carrier sometimes.
Hmm.
But most of the time it will do, let's say, one ring, and then go to the voicemail. However, the way we tend to use voicemail drops is a little bit less of. We've never really used voicemail drops to say, "Hey, I've got this promotion. This is going to happen." So we use it more as a hybrid to get people to consume more of the content, because
Hmm.
we know if someone's engaged enough, and they've already signed up for a thing, and ideally they've already paid for that thing, because then they're more bought in. Because
Okay.
at times, right? I mean, I had someone today email me and say, "What did I sign up for? Why am I getting emails from you?" And I was like, "You signed up to a giveaway like 3 days ago." So
Yeah, I know that
right.
happens.
So you get those things sometimes. So, but if someone's bought something and actually got out the credit card, they're like, "Oh, you're just helping me consume that content that I bought." So they're like, they're okay with that.
And
So the
they
only yeah.
know in advance that it's coming.
Yeah, so we'll frame that out like in the fulfillment email and just say, hey, we're going to be with you every step of the way, and this is so we'll check in with you each day of the challenge to
Mhm.
make sure
Okay.
that you're keeping up. So you can almost frame it as like a virtual accountability partner.
Right. Yeah. And so they're expecting it, which is a big difference than just doing a
Yeah,
broadcast. Yeah, for sure.
it's a difference between like going, hey, let's go for dinner, and then walking into a room and just shouting at people, saying, hey, buy my stuff.
All right, let's take you back. Everybody likes to hear the stories of how people came up. So, did you ever have the dreaded job?
Yes, yes, I did. I did have a job. I think they say that stands for what? Just over broke.
Yep, just over broke. Yep.
Yeah. So I actually my first full-time job was working at Subway. And I was on $4.70 an hour, and the parking was £4.70 an hour, and the parking was £5. So I worked the first hour for free, and I was doing like 3-hour shifts a lot of the time. So basically, by the time I paid for my petrol, I think it worked out I was making about £300 a month. Stayed there for 3 months, and then ended up getting hired by a big bakery chain and became a manager running 20 staff at 20 years old. Did the whole corporate thing, got stressed out, burnt out, working crazy hours. And then I became a wedding singer, as you do.
Right.
Because that's the
Of
natural
course,
next
that's what
step,
everybody
right?
does. Yeah.
Yeah. So they go, okay, cool. Yeah, I don't want to be in corporate management. I'll be a wedding singer. So I ended up doing that for like 4 years. I was actually a drummer since I was 11 years old, and went through all the instruments: drums, bass, guitar. Learned to sing. Couldn't sing a note in tune like when I first started. Had singing lessons, and then I was like, singing was the only one that I could actually make any money out of. Right? You go out for a night and in a band in a pub, and you make like $60
Right.
as a drummer, but like you could go out as a singer and you could make $150 in the pubs. And then I started to learn about marketing and positioning and branding. And I went from, I think I remember going to this showcase, if you know what I mean by
Yes.
showcase,
Hmm.
like where you get all these pubs and clubs in the local area and they all watch you for 10 minutes, and then they decide out of those, they decide who wants to book you.
Right.
This guy says to me, he said, how much do you charge? I said £150. He went, you'll never get more than £130. And I was like, okay, if that's what you think. Within 2 years, I was charging £2,000 a day. And I was doing private weddings. And because I positioned it and learned how to value stack, for anyone who's listening doesn't know how to value stack, it's like creating a real irresistible offer. So everyone else was just going, yeah, we'll do your wedding singing for the day. I was going, here's what you're going to get. And it was like, you're going to get a Bose speaker system, right? This is state of the art, top notch. So your sound quality is going to be amazing throughout the whole day of the wedding. We're going to do all your music throughout the whole day. You give us all the songs you want to play. We're going to give you the mics for the speeches. We're going to learn your first dance song. We're going to provide all the lighting. We'll do the wedding breakfast. We'll do your ceremony. So you're not going to have to worry about a thing. And they were like, oh, wow, this sounds amazing. And so then I was like, and it's 2,000. It's usually like that adds up to like £5,500, but you can get it today for £2,000 if you
Beautiful.
secure at this event. And they were like, yeah, great, cool, let's do it.
Well, it's a little bit more than 130.
Yeah, exactly. And just for anyone listening who's like, well, that sounds like quite a jump. But I didn't go from 150 to 2,000 overnight. It was okay, let's go from 150. And then my first wedding was like £350. I think I traveled 3 hours each way to get there, paid for the hotel out of that, and sang for over 3 hours. So by the end of it, I think I made about £100. But then over time, you just keep putting your prices up and up and up and up until people could start saying no. And then you go, okay, cool, that's probably where the level is.
Yeah. There you go. So then what?
Then it turned into, I was like, okay,
Hold on, I got to tell everybody, if they hear any dogs, I got a new rescue dog here, so she's a little bit antsy. but we're going to leave her on here so she can be famous on the Screw the Commute podcast.
That's all good. So after that, like as we were doing the wedding singing, I was like, I still need to market this business. I started learning about online marketing and created this thing called a Dream Wedding Secrets Box. And
What's
it was
it called?
basically
What was
a dream wedding secrets box. Because what does every bride want? Every bride wants a dream wedding.
Right.
So we created this info product. It was at like a $12.95 product, basically like a self-liquidating offer. So as long as we covered the cost of the ad spend, we were happy.
Mm-hmm.
And then we took those people, put them into a Facebook group, and built a group of 3,500 brides. So then we did the whole ask them what they want and give it to them. So we said, what do you want? And they said, we want bridesmaids dresses at a reasonable price. We went, oh, we can do that. So we went on AliExpress, found some bridesmaids dresses that were about £10 and sold them for 40.
Okay.
And then started an e-com store, which built up and did about £100,000 in sales. Didn't calculate my return level right. And that's when it all went to crap.
But I have an idea to save it. I have an idea to save it, Paul. After 6 months, you follow up with a divorce product. You're going to definitely get sales.
Divorce secrets.
Yeah.
There you go. So we didn't work out the return policy right because we were doing 90-day returns. And basically I was basing it on the month of that sale, of the sales that we were at that month, not on the month when the actual sale happened. So I was thinking my return rate is like 12% and it was like 30%. So then what was happening is I was scaling the ads every month, but basically I was just making the problem worse and worse and worse.
Right,
so £25,000 came back in 2 months.
Oh yeah. Everyone you sell, you lose money on. So
So
it's hard to scale that kind of business.
I got postmanophobia, which I created that one, right? So postmanophobia, the postman would turn up. You probably call him mailmanophobia.
Yeah, right.
In America. So he'd turn up in the morning, and they have those little scanners where they scan the barcode.
Right.
Every time I heard that scan, I was like £250, £500, 700, and like I would literally, I'd feel it in the pit of my stomach every morning when I heard as soon as I heard that van open and shut on the slider, I was like, he's got returns.
Oh, dude.
And it was terrible, and we couldn't even switch the ads off because we had to reduce the ads down over a period of time because I didn't have the cash flow to cover the returns. So I took out loans from we took out 2 decent sized loans from the bank. We had money from friends and family to help us out and support us, and it put a massive strain on our own relationship as well, because it was me and my wife running it. We even had to come up with a word called wet socks. So we said anytime someone had annoyed the other one, we say wet socks, and then they'd know that they'd been annoyed. Because if you've got wet socks on, you're really uncomfortable.
Right. Oh man. So all right. So what happened then?
So what happened next? Well, so I went through this exercise and said, what do I enjoy and what am I good at? Right. So I was like, I can't do this anymore. What do I enjoy? And at the time that was messenger bots. And then started, because we'd done a lot of that stuff to market in the bridesmaids dress business. I created like a bot that told you who to invite to your wedding, or a spin the wheel bot that basically they spun the wheel to win prizes and all those kind of things. So I was getting really creative with that kind of stuff. And then that kind of morphed into this thing called CCOM, where I was like, do you know what? I think this is where online business is heading, where people want to have conversations with people, but you can't do all of it at scale. So then I started, like, everyone in the bridesmaids dress business, they ordered a free sample of the dress. I would send them a personal video message, or every abandoned cart, I would call them up, every single one. And I created automations to make that as easy as possible for me to do. So then I started applying all these different principles to other businesses. And I soon started to realize, wow, do you know what, this works really well. And then like we did some 6-figure launches, and then we worked with some clients and then started doing 7 figures on webinars and applying all this same kind of principles. So when we were doubling short rates for webinars, because we were adding in text messages, voicemail drops, having more email reminders that are actually building rapport and building
Now,
story
now, when
before
you're
the webinar.
saying we quite a bit. So, did you build up a team at this point?
Sure, yeah. So the bridesmaid dress business, it was literally me and my wife,
Mm-hmm.
and then the business that we've got now. So we've got four like internal team members, and then we use some freelancers and strategic partners for other things as well to expand that out. Yeah. So I say we because what you realize over time is you can't do what you really want to do without having a team,
Right. That's for sure.
and they're the most, like, you realize you start treating them like family, right? As well, and you care for them that much that, yeah. I mean, I have daily huddles with the whole team, and I also have weekly check-ins
Yeah.
with
So, not
with
only do
each
you
one.
not treat your customers like numbers, you don't treat your employees like numbers either. So,
Yeah, well, to be honest, Tom, our number one value, right? So we have values called We Ripen, and that stands for the number one. On top of that, the W is wow. So how can we create customer wow every day? Whether that be for a client, whether that be internally for each other, whether that be for our own customers for any low ticket products, or how can we even create customer wow for our clients' customers? So, like, when you start focusing on customer wow, everything else naturally follows because people naturally want to talk about it.
yeah, that's for sure. All right, so we got to take a brief sponsor break. When we come back, we'll ask Paul what's a typical day look like for him, and how we get a hold of him to check out, because everybody wants to go past seven figures. That's for sure. So, folks, usually tell you about my mentor program at this point, but like I said, I'm totally passionate about this project we're doing with the school to help people with disabilities, physical disabilities. We have one guy that's got 2,500 vision. He has to stick his nose right in the keyboard and right in the monitor. Most upbeat guy I ever met. We have another lady that's got ankylosing spondylitis, just hunched over. She's a school teacher, and uh, knee problems. Sometimes she gets up and she can't stand up and falls down to the floor. So there's a lot of people suffering from things that I know that my school can help. And then I'm taking a grant writing course so that once this program is successful, I can go for big companies, foundations, and really roll this out big and help a lot more people. So really need your help on this. So if you could check out the Internet Marketing Training Center in Virginia, imtcva.org/disabilities, and click on our GoFundMe campaign. Support it however you can. If you could share it, that would be great. Any amount, small or large, is appreciated, because part of crowdfunding is the more people that participate, the better it looks to the crowdfunding platforms, and then they raise you up higher so that lots of other people see you that never heard of you. So that's what we're shooting for. So check that out. I really appreciate it, and you'll be helping to change these people's lives forever. All right, let's get back to the main event. Paul Ace is here, and he has a really cool concept of conversational commerce. So, Paul, what's a typical day look like for you?
Yeah, a typical day really starts the night before, to be honest. So
Okay.
one of the first books I ever read from like self development was The Miracle Morning by
Mm-hmm.
Hal Elrod, and I took those principles and then applied them to the evening before instead. So I lay out my top three outputs for the next day, what my intention is today from a left brain perspective, so from the factual perspective, also from a feeling right brain perspective, what I'm declaring to be true today, and then also all the things that I'm declaring to burn energy on. And then so when I start the next day, I already know what my focus is and where I'm heading.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, I just started doing a mind movie, which is pretty cool. Some of the people on our Amplified Seven Figures podcast, they were telling me they do this in called a mind movie, where basically you put all the things that you want in life, like both from an emotional perspective to physical things, all those things, and you watch that movie every morning. So at 6:45 a.m. Monday to Friday, that movie comes on my screen automatically, and I watch that 2-minute video.
Ah, okay.
which is pretty cool. And then as we go through the day, we do a daily huddle at 9 a.m. where we just make sure we go through. We always start with wins every time, right? So, like, what's your biggest win from yesterday? And it's always like a 10-second win. We go around the team to make sure everyone's always focusing on the wins, not just on the problems.
Yep.
Because a wins breeds culture of wins. Then we go wins, critical numbers. Make sure we go through the important KPIs. Then we go to roadblocks and then weekly commitments. So we'll go around the room, and then basically from there, the morning is all about deep work because I'm in the UK. Pretty much everyone I speak to is in the US, so they're not up when I'm up. So if I need to write copy, if I need to create any systems, processes, do any deep work stuff, I do all that in the morning, and then the afternoon it is just pretty much calls. Tuesdays and Thursdays, a lot of podcasts, both being on and hosting my own, and then client interviews later on in the day, usually like 6-7 o'clock time.
Besides watching the movie in the morning, do you have any type of exercise or nutritional routine?
Yeah, so we've actually just gone a little bit more clean eating. So my wife's got MS as well, and something she wanted to focus on is doing a lot more clean eating just to help her own health. So I've been doing more of that, where we'll have a lot more salads. I've been doing more meal prep as well. So I'll just go and buy like 10 chicken breasts, cut them all up, and then do prep for like 5 days of lunches. Also exercise wise, I'm a bit of an old man that I play Crown Green Bowls. As you do. I don't know do you guys have Crown Green Bowls in the US?
No, I was like, did you say something about green balls? I mean,
green balls. So do you have flat green bowls? No?
No. But
Oh,
I'm just saying
I'm being so English right now.
What sounds so funny because I did do a joke on an Instagram reel about what do you have if you have a great big green ball in your left hand and a great big green ball in your right hand? It's a heck of a good hold on the Jolly Green Giant. So, no, I never heard of what you just said. What is it?
Yes, so basically you roll two balls and you have to get them closest to this yellow jack. Sounds quite simple, but it's nice to be out in the fresh air in general. And then the other thing I play a lot as well is badminton, because I'm fiercely competitive.
Wow. Yeah, we have that here, but you don't hear a lot about it or see it much. Yeah.
It's like the second most popular sport in the UK, like social sport.
Wow. No. We used to have this thing called yard darts until people started getting killed with them. There's like 3-pound projectiles that you throw up in the air.
I do love cornhole when I go over to America as well.
Well, that's another thing. When I first came to this area, cornhole meant something really different where I came from. All right. And then I came here, I thought this has to be a joke, a sick joke. I mean, Jesus, little kids are, standing next to these boards that says cornhole on them. And it's a very dirty, filthy thing where I come from. So yeah, let's play some cornhole. You're crazy. So anyway, tell them how they get a hold of you before the dog comes and pees all over me or bites me.
Yeah, so if you want to go and check out more about what we do, and you're looking to amplify your business to 7 figures plus, then go to amplifyccom.com. So that's ccom with no hyphen or anything, just amplifyccom.com. There's also a ton of resources that we're adding to there. We just added a blog, and there's also the podcast on there where you can listen to other 7-figure entrepreneurs as well. Yeah,
and it was great. I was on there. It was a lot of fun, and listen to other episodes. A lot of inspiration there for you entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs. So thanks, Paul, for coming on, man. Really appreciate it.
Been a absolute pleasure, Tom. Always a pleasure talking to you anyway. So fun stuff. Appreciate it.
Okay, so get over to amplifyccom.com and get check out all the great stuff Paul has, and a lot of those things he was talking about are very advanced things that you can take advantage of using technology, and he can show you how to do it. All right, we'll catch everybody on the next episode. See you later.